that thoughts? You're a good audience. I like it. Next, money. Calculators, please. First one that gets it. Are we ready? You demand $1,000 per night, per girl. You make them work. Let's be nice. Let's give them a day off. Doesn't happen, so let's do it anyway. 6 days a week. You make them work all but 2 weeks a year. How many weeks are in a year? All but 2 weeks in a year for 50 weeks.
1,200,000.
There is a great advantage to sitting in the front row. $1.2 million. $1.2 million. Next question. How much of that is paid in taxes? 0. Right. Correct. Next math question. If you are in a 40% tax bracket and your after-tax income is $1.2 million, how much money did you gross? Ooh, this is actually algebra. X equals incorrect. It's got to be bigger. You're already disqualified. You got it wrong, girl. I just said it was retakes on the test. 1.17 sounds close enough for my government work. I have the winner.
1.17.
$1.7 million per year, cash money. Are we not talking about an extremely lucrative criminal enterprise? The answer is no. $1.7 million is a lot of money. Okay? Guess what people do to protect their money? Anything. Anything. I tried a case. 19-year-old girl from this county. Nice looking girl, could be any one of you. She became involved with a guy named Banky. Banky's reputation, Andre Moncrief, I'll call him by his name. Andre Moncrief, also known as Banky. Banky had his eye shot out by another pimp. One-eyed pimp. Banky had a reputation for being the person that initially broke in girls. He was the first person that would turn a 12 to 14-year-old into a working girl. Banky would brand his name on their skin. Now, how many of you all want tattoos? Liars. Liars. You know who's so popular these days? A lot of you will end up with a tattoo. Some of you will deeply regret that tattoo. If you do anything, let me give you a little personal piece of advice. Never put another person's name on you. They may not last with you, but that tattoo will until you deal. And how how do you deal with tattoos that you don't want? Lasers. Which hurts worse? A tattoo being applied or the laser taking it off? Laser. You know what it's compared to? Hot oil being poured on your skin. That's not fun. Never, ever, and this is for your parents' benefit, I do this, ever put the name of your girlfriend or your boyfriend on your skin. I digress. Banky, within 2 to 3 days, would put his brand on his girls. Now, what is a brand? Who said that? I have Cheetos, I have Lay's, and I have orange cream. A brand is like this. Fritos. A brand is like IBM. It's a corporate identity, right? In the context of cattle, what is a brand? And what does it do? What? It is the opportunity to show everyone in the whole darn world, I own that cow. Right? I don't personally. People do. Now, consider this. Banky marks his girl. He's saying, number one, this is Banky's brand, and number two, she's my girl. Worked for Banky for a period of time, and after that period of time, she said, I no longer want to sleep basically with 10 strangers a night, making you your $1,000 per day. That's not unreasonable, is it? She wanted to go home. If she was going to go home, this is what she would have come home looking like. She would have had Banky on her neck. She would have had bankroll tattooed on the backs of her legs. She would have had above her vagina the words, keep your love, I want your, what was it? Keep your love, I want your faithfulness. Inside her lip, tattooed, $, talks, $. Money talks. When she told Banky that she wanted to go home and she no longer wanted to participate doing what he did for money, he said, cool, you can go home. I'll throw you a party. We'll have your friends, and by friends, he meant we'll have your family, and by family, I mean the 3 other girls that Banky dominated and put out on the street. We'll have your friends over for a party to say goodbye. And goodbye is exactly what Banky did. He had the party, and at the end of the party, he shot her in the face. Murder. In a cheap, sleazy, disgusting hotel. She died on the bed where she was forced to have sex with other men. And she told the other people, the family, the partygoers, that there's no leaving Banky. Yeah. Inside this poor girl's body was traces of methamphetamine. Now, does everybody know here that ecstasy contains meth? Does everybody know that ecstasy is like MDMA? and one of the M's is meth. Okay, so when she took ecstasy, there was meth in her system. His friend, another pimp, testified. We questioned him. Sir, why did she have meth in her system? What does meth do? Answer. It's good. It makes you high, and what else does it do when you're high? Is it a depressant or is it a stimulant? Stimulant. It makes you stay up all night long. Why do you think you stay up all night long? To make more money. And I got nothing left, buddy. I'm sorry. So, think about this. What are we dealing with in that kind of person? When you ram them and you provide them a stimulant so they can work more, we're really dealing with a commodity, not a person, aren't we? It's like a cow that's being raised, that's given an injection of hormones so that they can become a bigger, fatter calf, so that you can make more money, right? You put MDMA in a girl's system, not because she wants to have a party experience, like people take ecstasy at raves. You put MDMA in a girl's system so that she can have sex till 4 in the morning. I think I've convinced you at this point that there is no glamour to this. That pimp is a 4-letter word. And what I want you all to do when you leave here today is check yourselves. Think about the language that you use. Don't refer to girls as bitches. Don't think about pimping as being a good thing. There are very few things that are lower than doing what they do to girls. We need to have respect for women. We need to treat them properly. We need to recognize that their bodies and their decisions that they make are important decisions that they make for themselves. And the guys that take advantage of them, that have sex with them, the buyers, well, we need to deal with them too, really aggressively. So let me give you some numbers. We prosecuted last year 61 exploiters. We have a 91% conviction rate on them. We prosecuted 46% of all human trafficking cases in the state. We're very successful in doing this. And we send people away for long periods of time. If you are someone that exploits a girl, you can be sent to prison if you use force, fear, coercion, duress to make that human trafficking occur for 15 years to life. That's the same sentence that you'd receive if you committed second-degree murder. What do you think the sentence is if you buy a minor for the purposes of having sex? 15 years to life. What else? Let me ask you this. Let's do it a different way. What should the sentence be for someone that knowingly tries to buy sex from a minor? So let's do it this way. Put up your hand if you think it should be more than a year. Keep your hand up if you think it should be more than 5 years. More than 10 years. All right, who thinks it should be 20 years or more? Life. let me tell you something. This is why I want you guys to seriously think about joining a group like this. The penalty for knowingly purchasing a child is a misdemeanor. Sir, a misdemeanor that is a penalty of 48 hours in jail. 48 hours. That is the same amount of time that you would get if you did a DUI. I bet that makes you kind of feel disgusted, confused, angry, and mad. Am I right? I'm saying, get a couple dollars out of your pocket, buy some chips from them, join their group, write a letter to your state representative and say, people that buy children should not be treated the same as people that drive drunk. They're child molesters. Protect us. That's what we demand of you who represent us in Sacramento. What do you think? Can we do that? I'm inspired by the fact that you all are here. You're here because you wanted to hear us. And you can make a little difference. Every year, there's bills that go to Sacramento, and our legislators actually want to make things change, but they don't even know how. What I'm telling you is the biggest problem right now in Sacramento on the criminal law side is that we are not taking sides to people that are purchasers. And when you go to college and you study economics, you're going to learn that when she had to sign up for Accutane, and maybe some of you have had to go on this horrible drug, you have to go through this sort of orientation about the drug with the doctor, in which they say that you are going to promise that you will not have sex, because if you have sex while you're taking Accutane, it will result in a terrible birth defect to your child. Now, my daughter is probably one of the sweetest, most naive girls you'll ever see. For her to have a conversation about sex at 13 mortified her. She had to listen to birth control methods and all this stuff and swear that she'd use 2 different forms if she were to engage in sex. She hated the thought. Consider Julia she's right dead in the middle, right? Between 12 and 14 years old. What takes a child that is normal and takes them to a place of where they would engage in willingly, in some cases, not necessarily, well, willingly is maybe the wrong word. We'll explore that in a minute. They will do the act of having sex with 10 strangers a night, right? How do you go from point A to point B? From Julia to the person that has to do that. And so, there are 2 forms that I would explore. Number 1, sometimes girls are abducted and they're taken from the street. About 80% of the girls that are being taken advantage of are runaways. Okay? About 40% have some sort of serious background in their family where there's been sexual assault within the family, maybe on her, maybe on a sibling, something like that. We've got drug abuse issues, we've got truancy issues, we've got all these things that make a girl at risk. And so they're out on the street, and they get abducted, and typically what happens, and I'm sorry to be graphic with you, but I'm going to tell you what happens anyway, they tend to be raped and broken down emotionally and beaten and then put on the street. Okay, that is a horrible, disgusting thing that one person would do to another. The other way that typically happens is actually equally awful, but almost more insidious. You see, a lot of these girls have never really experienced what I hope all of you experience every day in your lives and show to one another. And that's love. And so the absence of love is really dramatic in these girls' lives. And they seek it desperately. So that when someone comes forward explaining that they love them, when they're out on the street and they're incapable of taking care of themselves, having run away, they say, I will provide you shelter. I will provide you food. I will provide you warmth. I will take care of you. I love you. You're a member of this team that I've assembled. Something starts to evolve, and it's a bond that exists. And that continues for a period of time. And the girl actually believes that she loves the person that is taking advantage of her. And he does something like this. I have provided to you. I've given you a room for several weeks. I've given you the opportunity to have shelter. But you know what? I spent all my money. And I don't have any more. And I love you. And you're part of my team. And I care. And when times were tough, I did what I had to do for you. Times are tough now. I need you to do something for me. I need you to go work tonight. I need you to go make us some money. And so you do it. And that person that feels like they are part of a team, and they do it in their mind, remember I said willingly? This is how a person does it willingly. But it's not truly willing, is it? This is false. The person that is abducted, raped, and put on the street will do amazing things to get out of that situation. I've had girls jump out of second-story buildings, breaking the glass naked, landing on the ground and breaking bones to avoid their exploiter. But I've also had, and more commonly had, girls that absolutely refuse to testify or participate in a prosecution against their exploiter because they see that person as their boyfriend and the person that's protecting them. Which one